Hi, everyone. I'm eager and excited to talk to you about my new book that combines years of guiding regression with my traditional work years ago as a conventional psychologist. So, when you pick up this new book that is called Soul Design, one of the first things you'll begin to read about is what I have decided to call soul essence psychology. So what does that mean? Well, basically that means if you combine a traditional perspective of, oh, I am the way I am, I have the interests, the fears, the concerns, the passions, the skills, that come from current life, like my mother was a musician, and I listened to her skills and decided that as I was getting older, I would become a musician. That's not true about me, but that's just an example. So I began to think about, through all the years of guiding, what I call soul regression, or two types of regression: past life soul regression and between lives soul regression. Um, I realized it was of key importance to understand who we are, why we are the way we are, tied to not just current life, that's an important piece, but how do our past lives, for example, show up in our current life? How does where we come from as a soul in the higher realm, how does that show up in your current life? How does the overriding nature of your soul's skills, your soul's purpose, how does that show up in current life? And that all relates to soul essence psychology. So, just to give a couple of examples, and I'm going to be recording some short pieces like this to help you understand how do we learn about our current life by understanding who we are before current life, who we are as a soul. So, a quick example. I'll use my own self as an example. Um, for years, I struggled with certain aspects of my relationship with my dear mother, who is now on the other side and has been on the other side for quite a number of years. But I struggled with her personality, the way she related to me, and that kind of thing. And then I began to discover past lives I'd shared with my mom. And I realized in at least one life, um, I basically abandoned her. She was my child, and I died of a broken heart in a past life when she was less than 12 years old. And I essentially abandoned her. She had no father at that point in her life. And it helped me understand why, as my mother in current life got older and more advanced in her aging process, why I knew I had to be sure that I was the one, along with other family members, that was caring for her needs. And I realized I was needing to balance past life, my own past life decisions. And that was why I felt compelled to take care of mom. It was well worth doing because we basically healed our relationship in those final years of her life. So when you think about your own skills, fears, interests, think about soul essence psychology. Pick up, if you will think about it, my new book called Soul Design, and begin to read about client experiences of how do our past lives, how does where we come from as a soul in the greater celestial realm, how do our intentions in past lives show up in our intentions in current life. So thanks for listening. You'll be hearing more from me, and I hope you all will continue on your journey of self-discovery to logically explain without judgment of yourself your own interests, inclinations, worries, skills, and the like. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.